Hi, I'm Darcy.
And I'm Kelly, and thanks for joining us for
And Another Thing,
where we talk about current events,
pop culture,
things we love,
things we don't,
all slathered in gobs of laughter,
and all the feels.
So grab a drink, sit back, and join us for
And Another Thing, in your face, race. Greetings, Thingies.
Hello, puppets. Good to hear you and see you.
Yeah, we're trying hard to remember that some people aren't watching. So let's just jump on in
Yeah,
here.
let's do it. We got lots to talk about today, we
do.
always do.
So we are in now a few days into Black History Month, and we just celebrated Holocaust Remembrance Day.
Correct.
And our dear friend Whoopi Goldberg,
She stepped in it, didn't she?
Goldberg stepped right in it. Yeah, bless her heart. And I kind of want to talk about this because I think it's a big deal. And obviously, Kels is the token Jew in the room right now, and so I wanted her to just really have the floor for this.
Well, many thoughts. First of all, I could see why people might not consider Jews a race. I get that. But the whole point, the whole thing that the Holocaust was built on is the Germans wanting to be the master.
Yes.
What's the word, people?
Race.
They
Wait, hold on. We should tell the good people, in case they've been living under a rock, what Whoopi said.
Right.
Really?
So she said the Holocaust was absolutely not about race,
Mm-hmm.
and it was about man's unkindness to other men.
Inhumanity to man.
Yes. Which those two
That's
are not
wrong.
That is not wrong.
Yeah.
But it's 100% about race. If you're going to say, I am fighting these people, I am killing these people, I am exterminating these people because they are in an inferior race.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to create a superior
Correct.
race.
Mengele is going to, conjoin twins and change their eyeballs and stuff. I know. So, yes, it's a racial thing. 100%. And also, a lot of people forget that there were just as, or almost as many Romas, we call them now, but gypsies that were killed, and Catholics and gays, because they were not of the pure blood, the Aryan blood, the pure race.
Right. And the problem with her saying that, and I personally, I don't think Whoopi's a racist. I watch The View every day.
Right. I know you are
I'm an avid person. I've always watched it from day one. But I also think that she has a different perspective based on the fact that she's a black woman.
And I completely understand that. So I do not, as a Jew, I do not agree with her being suspended. She apologized. It could be a teaching moment. Although first she doubled down on it before she apologized.
She did?
Yeah.
Okay, I missed that part.
She did. And she said, well, it's not a race. Jews aren't a race. Or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. Don't come at me.
Does she consider Jude a religion? Is that what she's trying to say?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's both.
Right. Exactly. I mean, it's not like I check off Caucasian when I'm doing a form, because there's not a box for Judaism. I get that. But there are some Jews who feel like, especially my family's from Eastern Europe, that I should put down that I'm European, which I'm not. I was born and raised in America, but I don't know. So the racial thing, if it had not been all predicated on creating a master race and purifying the race, then maybe we'd be having a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
But she did apologize.
She did, and the thing is, I felt like it was heartfelt and contrite. And here's the thing about Whoopi Goldberg: if she doesn't mean it,
She won't
you'll
do it.
know it. You'll see it all over her face, So I felt like she said it was a learning moment for me. I'm glad people brought this to my attention. I'm grateful for that.
Right.
And then they started the next day's show after she stepped her foot in it with the whole front of the show was. They had a guy from the Anti-Defamation League there and explaining in great detail why it's important that to know that the Holocaust happened and that people need to not say it was a made up thing and stuff like
the
that.
Holocaust
and
deniers.
I felt like they spent a lot of time on it on the show. And then after the fact, Kim Godwin, the network president, decided to suspend her for 2 weeks. And I was like, and here's part of it too. There was another thing. Drink.
those of you in podcast land, anytime we say another thing, take a big old
swig. There was a lot of stupid crap that Meghan McCain said on that show that she never got suspended for.
Joy Behar.
Oh, yeah. I have to say, even if I agree with Joy's politics more often than not, her attitude sucks.
She kind of turns my stomach. I'm sorry. I know as a female comedian, I shouldn't diss other female comedians.
Well, I just think she's, to me, like her and Meghan were the opposites of two coins. They had different beliefs, but they acted with such disrespect and snark with people that they disagree with, and so I have that problem. But Meghan then...
She had the clap back.
She decides to write a column in the tabloid she now writes for. It's a tabloid. The Daily Mail. Just came for Whoopi and how she thinks she should have been suspended. And here's what she said. I was lectured to on multiple occasions by the production, and there's different, it's different for conservatives and liberals. And I was like, wait a minute, you were lectured, but you were never suspended for any of the unconscionable things she said.
Right, and you said like the snark and the vitriol, which I feel like Whoopi has never, she comes at you. But I feel like she doesn't have that. She has an air of, she's also got that kind of laissez-faire kind of attitude anyway.
Yeah, live and let live.
She gets passionate about stuff. I'm not saying she doesn't, but she's kind of got that underlying cool vibe, like, Whoopi,
But then she said on multiple occasions that I've seen her get mad, and I've seen her be like vehemently disagreeing with a guest, but at the same time, she's consistently said, we have to have these discussions.
Right.
We can't just shut things up. She says this stuff to Sonny a lot. When Sonny comes about, like, Sonny's big on this, Joe Biden hasn't done anything for black people argument that she's fixated on right now. And we're the ones that got him in office. He needs to take care of us. And I'm like, yeah, he needs to make good on his campaign promises, but at the same time, he is the president of everybody.
Right.
And he's trying to be the president of everybody.
But there are a lot of folks, including black people, who say that Obama didn't do a lot of stuff for black people. So that's a whole other
That's
thing.
a whole other show. And but it's just kind of right now I just find it very interesting that Whoopi was suspended on the second day of Black History Month.
Right.
After contritely apologizing, and that's the thing, I felt like it was heartfelt, and she wasn't just saying
where do you stop that you can't allow? Well, I know where you stop, but you can't allow people to just apologize. So we're gonna get to that.
We're gonna get to that. That's coming.
But before we go on with that, one of the things that you were saying about Sonny coming out and saying, well, what has Joe Biden done for black people? And again, if any of our viewers or listeners have dissenting opinions, please let us know. We want to open a dialogue, because we're fallible. I don't know everything for sure.
And we're white. So
I am not.
Just might be full of white privilege. You might be like, oh, hell no.
I am not putting aside my white privilege at all.
Yeah. We want to learn and we want to do better, but we're just sharing our thoughts right now.
Right.
And we want to open these dialogues because we know that conversations are what end up here.
Correct. And we're not asking you to teach us, because we're not asking you that either. We will do our own.
We know that's not your job.
Right. Okay. But having said that, so here's another thing.
Oh, we're full of them today.
That bothers me about when Joe Biden said that he wants to replace the empty seat in the Supreme Court with a black woman. People are going ape crap crazy.
It's insane right now.
Okay. Well, Trump said, I'm going to elect a woman, and he did. Reagan said, I'm going to elect a woman, and I did appoint. What is the difference?
The difference is that she's black. That's
Clearly.
Literally the whole thing. 111 of our 115 Supreme Court justices have been white.
White
and
male,
are
we counting in the white women?
In the women too, as well, from what I understand. And somebody can correct me on that math if I'm wrong.
So that's two more, right?
Yeah.
So take 2 off of that, or 3 off of that.
And I'm just like, wait a minute. I'm not here for your affirmative action nonsense, because 111 out of 115, don't you think it's damn time?
Right.
Even Lindsey Graham said our Supreme Court needs to
diversify,
match with the country, and it's time for a black woman.
Well, and here's the thing: if you go to court jury of your peers.
Yep.
So why is that different if you go to the Supreme Court? That's the highest court in the land.
Boom! She drops the mic, ladies and gentlemen. Seriously. I mean, come on. Any perspective we can get in the Supreme Court that's not white male is going to be a good perspective to have, and to, be able to have somebody to interpret the law according to, what affects their life. And here's the thing too, and another thing. Oh my God, I'm going to have so much to edit. Having a black woman who is qualified to be on the Supreme Court, just the fact, and she's probably going to be a lawyer. The list that I've seen are all,
right.
lawyers.
I mean, they usually, aren't they?
Yeah, they're
usually?
generally. I mean, there's actually nothing in the Constitution that states any qualification. You don't actually have to be like
a lawyer or a
you
judge.
can pick somebody off the street if you're the president and that's what you want to do. Please don't, Uncle Joe. But we're not worried about that. But
I don't know. That's more a jury of my peers.
That's true.
The barista at Starbucks is like, no.
Well, the thing is, I guess these are the people who are interpreting the Constitution based on their knowledge of law, and so they probably shouldn't be a lawyer. But understanding that these women are lawyers, they've already had to go so many extra miles to prove their worth,
100%.
to get their degrees, to get jobs as lawyers, to get
internships, to get jobs,
to be made partner.
Correct.
They have to do so much more. I would dare say a black woman on the Supreme Court would be the single most qualified human being on the court.
Let's drink to that.
We
I
are drinking
agree.
to that.
I know.
Mm-hmm. Cheers.
I wish I didn't have stuff to do after today. Yes, I agree with that 100%. So let's get that list out, and I can't wait to see who it is.
And great. I think it's wonderful.
I do too. And for all of you people who are like, no, you can't just say what you're gonna do. You know what? Yes, you can.
That's what every president and every campaign ever has done.
Correct.
And so, bring it. Yay, Supreme Court Black Lady
That's
Justice.
Right. So we were talking about when you can't just be contrite and make an apology.
Yeah.
So I'm sure, unless, again, like Darcy said, you're living under a rock, you've heard about the whole people pulling their music from Spotify because Joe Rogan is
a racist.
Yes,
a-hole.
correct. His podcast on Spotify, and he makes a lot of money with his podcast on Spotify.
$100 million
a year. And let me tell you, the people who are listening to our podcast, possibly on Spotify, we don't make anything. In fact, we pay for our own wine to do these. So
yeah, and we pay to be on Spotify.
That's right.
We pay the podcast.
Correct.
And we pay to try to get more eyeballs on this show if you're watching. We
do. We boost. We pay marketing on Facebook. And anyway, so we're in the hole for doing this.
So in the hole.
That aside, so evidently a compilation tape of Joe Rogan using the N-word multiple times has come out, a video.
Mm-hmm.
So you I didn't see the whole India Re, so you
India Re yesterday, I believe.
When the tape came
Put
out.
the tape came as we film this today. With her opinion on it, she asked for her music to be removed from Spotify. And basically, she had the most logical reason for it. She said, here's the thing. Spotify makes its money off of the backs of the musicians. It's the music that pays for Spotify.
Right.
Musicians make, and that's NDRE makes this. I don't make this. Yeah. 0.003% of a penny per listen. All that money is what's going to pay Joe Rogan his $100 million a year to be on Spotify.
It's
so for her, she's like, he has the
right
right to say anything he wants to say because this is America. She goes, but I have the right to say what I want to say, and I have the right to say I don't want my music paying his salary.
Good
and
for
to
her.
Me, that is the most. Especially, I'm all for it because I'm a fellow musician and I have no clout, but I'm just like, go India. That's the most logical explanation for a musician removing their.
I agree.
If you're like, and she has, seriously, she played the tape where there's just dozens of him saying the N-word being bleeped out, and then
not the N-word, the actual word, and that's
Yes.
important because I'll explain in his apology why that's important.
Yes. And then said something about he was somewhere with people he knew, and he said, we walked into the planet of the apes. There wasn't a white face for miles. And I was like, are you kidding? How clueless. And don't give me, it's taken out of context.
Right, which is what he said in his apology.
No.
We're doing finger quotes
Yeah,
all
sorry.
over the
We are
place,
air quoting.
podcasters. We are air quoting with our fingers.
My thing with that is, like, I don't care about context. If you're a white man or a white woman, any white human being, there's only one possible appropriate reason for you to use that word, and that's if you've been hired as an actor to play a white supremacist and it is in your dialogue.
Script. Correct.
There is no other excuse for a white human being to ever, anybody of any other race, frankly. I don't love that some Hispanic people have taken that on as well. I'm like, you don't get to use that word either.
Right.
You know, I dated a guy who referred to his friends, that way. And I was just like, yeah, that didn't last long because I can't.
I know. So in Rogan's apology.
Hashtag racist Rogan.
That was nasty. I shouldn't judge somebody by their hair or lack of. Joe Rogan. You missed it. I know. I made a joke. I made a bad joke about his hair loss.
That's okay.
In his apology, he said, first of all, he said it was taken out of context. Whatever. And he said, I prefer to use the real word instead of substituting it for N-word because, and he says, and I was talking badly about it. I wasn't praising it, but I don't understand because, Red Fox said it on television in the 70s in Stanford and Son. And, what's his name? Richard Pryor used it in an album title. Okay, so what do those two people have in common that Joe Rogan doesn't? Two of these things are the same and one isn't, or however that song goes.
Melanin!
Correct. So then the clap back to that on the Twitterverse today was all these shock comics are like, it's the end of comedy, man. If Joe Rogan's apologizing, we don't have a chance. What's next? Is he gonna start opening a daycare and taking care of babies? I mean, people were like coming at him like, how dare you apologize?
We enlighten ourselves. It's like nobody should be making fun of people with physical disabilities and stuff like that either. Comics generally don't do that because they know it's not a thing. It's not okay.
Unless you're, old-timey Catskill like Don Rickles, and that's his whole thing. But even Don Rickles, at the end of all of his things, his last 10 minutes of his shows, he would apologize to every single person in the audience.
Oh, really?
Made fun of.
Also, he's dead.
Correct. May he rest in peace. But
it's like, have you heard of the comic Josh Blue?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love him. He has cerebral palsy, and he's constantly making fun of himself, and he's damn funny, but it's his issue to make fun of.
Correct. Well, that's like my stand-up. I did a lot of weight stuff. I mean, a lot of the stuff I did was on being a fat person and living in this world. But I made the jokes.
Yeah. You don't get to.
Yeah.
You don't get to. Not you.
Which is why I feel bad that I made the Rogan joke, but it was funny. Okay.
Well, he's supposedly this big, healthy, all health guy and works out and I'm so healthy. If he was that healthy, his hair wouldn't have fallen out, is what I'm thinking. Whatever, get your vaccine, jerk.
Yeah, exactly.
But, so anyway, so we could just go on and on and on about this stuff, but we have a limited amount of time.
Well, and I think the irony is that we're trying to say is there's so much racism in the first as we tape, it's the 5th day of African American Black History Month. Sorry, Black History Month. The 5th day.
And it's just like the universe just regurgitated all its terribleness in regard to race in the first few days of Black History Month.
Look, don't taunt it. Don't taunt it that it could be worse. So never say it's the worst.
You are right.
It's pretty bad.
But that's
pretty bad.
I'm sick to death of it. I'm sick to death of it. I mean, on one hand, I'm seeing for the first time in my life, there have been specific moments in my life where I realized I'll never forget. I'm just going to go down a rabbit hole here really quickly. I'll never forget the day I realized my white privilege, and at the time I didn't have the words for it. I didn't realize white privilege was a thing really. But I remember early when I moved here and I had to go to the emergency room because I had no insurance or whatever. And I was the one white face in a sea of brown and black people. I was the only white person in the room. And I remember feeling uncomfortable and weird about it. And then literally a voice in my head, call me crazy, whatever. I'm a little bit woo-woo.
No, I
said to me, this is how people of color feel all the time. And it just, that I think was the beginning of my realization.
Wokeness.
My wokeness. I'm not afraid of that word. I'm getting woke.
We're trying.
Fight me if you don't like it.
We're certainly trying. I mean,
but yeah, and then obviously so much when George Floyd passed, and now I'm trying to make an effort when I see something on any of my streaming apps or whatever that is, like right now I'm watching Amend, which is about the 14th Amendment, which is about what constitutes a citizen, and how even though black people had supposedly the right to vote, they still weren't considered citizens, and that's one of the ways that all these states were able to keep them from voting because they claimed they weren't citizens, and only citizens could vote. So it's very interesting.
And that's just, I mean, all of that is horrible because they didn't get on a cruise ship and come to America.
Right.
They were forced to go. Okay. Yeah. This is getting,
we could just go. Anyway, blah, 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 blah.
So please.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah, please let us know, and please, educate us.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I am completely fallible, but I want to learn. And I will learn. Point me to what I should read. You don't have to teach us, but...
Yeah, but we are absolutely, we know, like I said, we know these conversations are important. We have to have them if we want any change to happen. And our hearts want change to happen.
Yes, we want to be the change that we see in the world.
Yes.
What is that?
Be the change we want to see in the world.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I want to. That's what I want to do.
So
any ideas for shows, folks? Please let us know.
Yeah.
And thank you for Dennis McCormick, who gave
Dennis, I believe, yes.
Dennis McCormick, who gave us a shout out on his Facebook page.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we would love for people to give us shout outs.
And by the way, if you're listening to podcasts, there's not generally a way to comment. You can review if you're listening to us on iTunes. We would love your reviews. We'd appreciate that. If you want to comment about what we're talking about, you can always come to our Facebook page and leave a comment when we leave, the page.
And another thing with Darcy and Kelly.
Yes.
We would love to see what you have to say.
Soon, anotherthingtv.com will give you one place where you can find us wherever you want to find us.
We're working on that.
Yeah.
I'm doing Bob Fosse hands, jazz hands. So, anything else? So Olympics are starting.
Oh, yeah.
So I think our next show will touch more on Olympics. Is anybody watching them? I don't know. I haven't watched them. I've taped them so far.
Yeah, I'm streaming only. I know they're available on Peacock, but I don't know if I have to pay extra for it.
I don't think so. But
I'll have to check. I don't want to miss the figure skating. That's my favorite.
I know. Me too. Me too. So should we go into things we love?
Yes, let's.
Is it time?
It is time.
Okay, so we haven't done a things we love. We did people we love for a long time. So, this, my friends, is a $4.99 mascara on Amazon.
Okay.
This is the waterproof version. They also make a non-waterproof. It's Essence, and it's called Lash Princess. I have it on. I do not have false eyelashes on. I have this. I have two.
They are a little extra today, I have to say.
Know.
Yeah.
I know. $4.99. I saw it on BuzzFeed, and then they have the link, and I'm like, I'll try it. Well, this is my third tube. It's fantastic. $4.99 on Amazon.
You know what I'm going to ask though?
Yes, it is cruelty free, and it is not in China. It is in Canada, so you
Okay.
know the Canadians are.
It's important to know that if an American company states they're cruelty-free, but they still sell their stuff in China,
China makes
they're
them
not
test
cruelty-free.
it,
China forces them to test it on
Yeah,
animals.
this is cruelty free.
So that's what we're looking for, and Leaping Bunny approved. I found a great mascara that I love, but I might try that because it's waterproof and so much cheaper. But anyway, is that it? That's all you want to say about it?
Oh, it's like a game changer for me. I
love it. Yeah, I can know. I can definitely
it's
tell.
even cheaper than I've been using the fake lashes by Maybelline for a million years, and that's $7.99, which is still super cheap. But
Yeah.
I could save $3.
That's amazing because I'm trying to change over my beauty stuff to cruelty free, and the cruelty free stuff seems so much more expensive. So I'm always looking for
Except
something
for
that's
Elf.
more,
I've talked about Elf so many
Yeah.
times,
But I don't love their mascara. Oh.
No, I don't either.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
terrible.
either.
But anyway, the thing I love this week is not a thing or whatever. It's actually a group on Facebook called Buy Nothing. Most people probably know about this right now, but if you look in your neighborhood, look for Buy Nothing that is in your neighborhood. It's split up all over the country. And I got this beautiful pendant.
Oh wow! I was going to ask you where you got
Isn't it
that.
pretty?
It's gorgeous.
It's kind of hard to see, but through my Buy Nothing group, it's literally a gifting economy. People just want to get rid of stuff and they say, hey, I'm giving this away, whoever wants it. People say, I'm interested, and sometimes it's the first person who answers gets it, or I'll let this simmer for 24 hours and then draw names out of a hat or whatever. And I've been able to get rid of some stuff when I was cleaning out my kitchen. I got rid of some stuff, and
I need to do that.
seriously, you could probably make a lot of people happy with, especially your closet. I love you so much. Check with me first, but this girl loves to shop and has a lot of clothes she's never.
Have you ever seen me duplicate a top on this show in 4 years? I don't think so.
I have, because I hate to shop. But I'm just saying, if you're trying to get rid of stuff and you don't want to throw things away because you know they're perfectly well working or okay, but you just don't need it.
Yeah.
Buy Nothing is great for it, and people will give away the craziest, most incredible things: couches, armoires, crafting supplies, baby strollers, cribs, lots of kid stuff. Like it's the best thing.
It's such a great upcycling thing. You're not buying something,
Yeah.
and you're helping your neighbors. I am a firm believer in that.
Somebody who really needs something. You never know. Somebody's got something.
An ex of mine was not a great boyfriend, but he's an okay guy. He has a fruit stand in his neighborhood that people bring extra fruit that they've picked, and people leave some and take some, or homeless people, they leave some and take some, and then they have dog pickup bags, if you're walking your dog and you don't have a bag. Anyway.
Oh, I have a mess of those. I should give those away.
Anytime that you have stuff that you could share with people, I think that's a great idea. I'm going to do it. I have not joined mine. I'm going to
Definitely.
do it.
And here's the thing too. It is the one group on Facebook I'm in where everybody's nice all the time.
There's no vitriol, like
nobody's
next
descending
door.
into panicked politic bull crap.
That's really nice.
Everybody's nice and everyone wants to help and stuff like that, and it's a nice little reprieve from all the other garbage.
So check it out. Look, Buy Nothing in your neighborhood. I think that's a great idea.
Buy Nothing group. Look in your groups. So there you go.
The police are coming by. Are they going to give me a ticket? No, police don't give tickets. Sorry, I'm parked outside the Caldar studio. The police don't give tickets. Parking enforcement has to. Anyway, on that note, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for
Whether
watching
you're
or
watching
listening.
or listening, we
Yes.
really appreciate all of our followers. If you like us, please tell people. If you don't like us, keep your pie holes shut, or tell us how we can improve. That's even better.
Or share with us what you would like to hear about.
Exactly. We would like that too.
We'll talk about anything. This is a very broad,
no holds barred. We will talk about
nothing's off limits, pretty much.
So in the meantime, stay safe and stay sane.
And healthy and hopeful. Love y'all.
Cheers!